Welcome to Food Science Peeps. In this video, I'll briefly explain about fat-soluble vitamins, including their names, structures, general properties, biological functions, excess and deficiency, food sources as well as stability. Fat-soluble vitamins dissolve in fats. They can be stored in our bodies either in liver or adipose tissue until they are needed. Fat-soluble vitamins include vitamin A, D, E and K. Now, let's look at the first one, vitamin A. Vitamin A exists in different forms, for example, alcohol form which is known retinol, aldehyde form which is called retinol, and also retinoic acid which is the acid form. Normally, vitamin A is stored in the form of ester, called retinyl ester. These related compounds are all known as vitamin A. While another term, called retinoids, refer to all forms of vitamin A including both natural and synthetic chemical which are structurally related to vitamin A. Let's look at biological functions. Vitamin A is important in maintaining eyes' health. It maintains a clear healthy cornea which is a clear membrane covering our eyes. Vitamin A also plays significant roles in body immunity as it regulates immune responses and combat infections, thus prevents multiple infectious diseases. Apart from that, vitamin A is crucial for growth and development, especially for infants and children. This is because vitamin A helps grow and maintain epithelial tissues, bones and teeth. Next, let's see what will happen in excess and deficiency of vitamin A. When a person has too much vitamin A in body, the condition is known as hypervitaminosis A. Normally, it occurs due to prolonged use of preformed vitamin A in high dosage. This condition occurs along with hair loss, bone pain, skin problem, and liver damage in severe cases. It is dangerous for pregnant women as it may cause birth defects in newborn babies. On the other hand, deficiency of vitamin A can affect eyes' health and cause eye problems. For example, xerosis occurs when the cornea becomes cloudy and dry due to lack of vitamin A. Deficiency of vitamin A also cause hardening and thickening of cornea which is known as xerophthalmia. Not enough vitamin A in our bodies also leads to night blindness as we will take longer time to adapt to dim light after seeing a bright light. Besides, lack of vitamin A can cause growth retardation especially in children. Vitamin A is needed for creation of collagen. Thus, its deficiency leads to poor wound healing which needs collagen. Now, let's see the foods which are rich in vitamin A. We can get vitamin A in both animal sources and plant sources. The best animal sources for vitamin A are fish liver oils, dairy products, meats, and poultry. We can also get vitamin A from fruits and vegetables such as carrot, apricot, spinach, and kale. Normally the animal sources give us preformed vitamin A while plant sources give us provitamin A. The most common provitamin A is beta-carotene. Every molecule of beta-carotene can yield 2 molecules of vitamin A. Next, stability of vitamin A. Vitamin A is resistant to temperature at and below 100 degrees Celsius. However, temperature exceeding 150 degrees Celsius causes vitamin A to be oxidized rapidly. Since vitamin A is fat-soluble, it is very sensitive to light and oxygen. Thus, it is oxidized easily in the presence of light and oxygen due to fat rancidification. Now, let's look at vitamin D. The most common nutritional forms of vitamin D are vitamin D2, ergocalciferol, and D3, cholecalciferol. The only difference in their structure is that ergocalciferol has a methyl group and carbon-carbon double bond in its side chain which is absent in cholecalciferol. There are other forms of vitamin D2 and D3 such as doxorcalciferol and calcitriol. Now, let's look at the biological functions of vitamin D. Vitamin D promotes the absorption of calcium. To increase absorption calcium, our bodies need the help of hormone calcitriol which is one of the active form of vitamin D we've learned earlier. Vitamin D and calcium work together to regulate bone growth, thus strengthen our bones and prevent bone disease such as osteoporosis. Apart from that, vitamin D is important in regulating our immune system as it enhances the pathogen-fighting effects of white blood cells and reduces inflammation in our bodies. Next, I'll talk about excess and deficiency of vitamin D. Excessive vitamin D in our bodies can lead to hypercalcemia. Since vitamin D plays the role in enhancing calcium of absorption, too much vitamin D can cause deposit of excess calcium in our blood. The symptoms of this condition include nausea, vomiting, weakness and frequent urination. In severe cases, it can cause bone pain and kidney problems such as the formation of calcium stones. Deficiency of vitamin D may cause bone diseases. For example, rickets, which occur in children whose bones do not grow normally, thus, causing soft bones and bowed legs. For adults, lack of vitamin D can lead to osteomalacia, in which the leg and spinal bones soften, and possibly bend or break. Apart from that, deficient in vitamin D may result to immune system disorders such as insulin-dependent diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis. Vitamin D2 normally comes from plant-based foods such as mushroom and kale, as plants produce vitamin D2 when exposed to sunlight. In contrast, the dietary sources of vitamin D3 can only be found in animal products such as salmon and sardine. Human bodies convert cholesterol to form vitamin D3 when sunlight hits our skin. Regarding stability, vitamin D is not affected by thermal processing such as pasteurization, boiling, sterilization, and there is no loss of vitamin D during frozen storage of foods rich in vitamin D. However, since vitamin D is fat-soluble, it is easily destroyed when fat in the food is oxidized. This is the main reason causing destruction of vitamin D. The third fat-soluble vitamin is vitamin E. Vitamin E exists in 8 different forms, which are 4-tocopherols and 4-tocotrienols. Both of these have 4 forms, which are alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. The difference between these forms is the position of the methyl groups on the ring, whereas the difference between tocopherol and tocotrienols is that the former have a saturated tail while the latter have an unsaturated tail. Next, let's look at biological functions of vitamin E. Vitamin E is an antioxidant which protects our body tissues against free radical damage. Vitamin E is important in maintaining cardiovascular health and reducing risk of coronary heart disease, especially in middle-aged and older people. Vitamin E also helps our immune system to fight with infection and reduces inflammation in our bodies. Next, excess and deficiency of vitamin E. Toxicity of vitamin E is rare, but too much supplemental vitamin E may cause bleeding, muscle weakness, fatigue, nausea, and diarrhea. On the other hand, deficient in vitamin E can cause muscular dystrophy. The symptoms include muscle weakness, loss of muscle mass progressively, and eventually loss of body movement control. Moreover, lack of vitamin E may cause hemolytic anemia, which is due to rupture of red blood cells. This occurs more frequent and serious in premature infants if there is not enough vitamin E. Let's see what kinds of foods are rich in vitamin E. The first one is vegetable oils such as sunflower oil and safflower oil. Also, we can get vitamin E from green leafy vegetables such as spinach and broccoli. Another food which is rich in vitamin E is nuts such as almonds and peanuts. Next, stability. Vitamin E is resistant to heat if there is no oxygen, and deep frying only causes slightly loss of vitamin E. However, vitamin E will undergo oxidative degradation in the presence of oxygen and is strongly influenced by factors that affect lipid oxidation. UV light also causes degradation of vitamin E by photooxidation. The last one, vitamin K. The two primary vitamin K forms are vitamin K1, which is called phylloquinone, and vitamin K2, which is called menaquinone. They have similar structures, which are the quinone ring and isoprenoid side chain. Vitamin K2 has different length of isoprenoid side chain. The most common form is menaquinone 4, which has 4 isoprene units in its side chain as shown in the picture. The isoprenoid side chain makes both of them soluble in fat. The difference is, they are coming from different source. Vitamin K1 comes from plants, whereas vitamin K2 is produced by microorganisms, and you can get it by eating fermented food. Now, let's first look at another form of vitamin K, which is vitamin K3, also called menadione. It is a synthetic naphthoquinone. It has no isoprenoid side chain, thus it is water-soluble. Menadione can undergo prenylation to yield menaquinone in the intestine. Next, the biological functions. Vitamin K1 is required for the post-translational modification of some blood-clotting proteins after they have been synthesized. Vitamin K3 also promotes the hepatic biosynthesis of blood-clotting factors. Thus, it can be used as nutritional supplement to treat hypoprothrombinemia, which is impaired blood clotting caused by deficiency in immunoreactive prothrombin, which is produced in the liver. Both vitamin K1 and K2 are required to activate proteins related to bone metabolism, thus help inhibiting loss of bone density and bone mineral. However, vitamin K2 is more effective than vitamin K1 in this activity. Vitamin K3 acts as the precursor to be converted into menaquinone in the liver. Vitamin K1 can also be converted into vitamin K2 by firstly cleaving the isoprenoid side chain to yield K3, which is then used to synthesize vitamin K2. Apart from that, several studies suggest that vitamin K2 is an antineoplastic agent which can be used for anti-tumor activity in treatment of cancer. Next, excess of vitamin K caused by diet intake is rare. However, taking vitamin K supplement may cause toxicity. So, we shouldn't take vitamin K supplement without prescription by healthcare provider. Compared to adults, deficiency in vitamin K occurs more frequent in newborn babies. This is because newborn babies' liver cannot utilize vitamin K efficiently, and their guts cannot produce vitamin K in their first few days of life. Symptoms of deficiency in vitamin K include stool contains blood and bruise easily due to excessive bleeding if their bodies are wounded. Vitamin K deficiency may increase the risk of osteoporosis and fractures as it is linked to low bone density. Next, let's see the food sources for vitamin K. Vitamin K1 is the major dietary form of vitamin K since green plants only synthesize vitamin K in the form of phylloquinone. To obtain vitamin K1, we should consume more green leafy vegetables such as spinach and kale. High concentration of vitamin K2 is found in fermented foods such as cheese, natto, and yogurt. Animal-based products such as fish, meat, and eggs also contain vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is also created naturally in the intestinal tract, whereas vitamin K3 is produced in our bodies from vitamin K1 through cleavage of its isoprenoid side chain. Let's look at the stability of vitamin K. Vitamin K is relatively less sensitive compared to other vitamins. However, vitamin K can be destabilized by oxidation. Vitamin K is very sensitive to light. The sunlight leads to higher loss of vitamin K compared to fluorescent light. Moreover, vitamin K is very sensitive to alkali, but is slightly sensitive to acid. That's all for today's lesson. Thanks for watching, bye.